I don't really know how to start this. This video freaks me out, but I think it's important. Let's talk about my experience being in a mental health institution. Twice. If you have never been hospitalized for a mental health disorder, whether it's inpatient or outpatient, your perception is probably a lot like the movies.
And he's gonna be all right.
And I'm sure the movies called it something like a nut house, psych ward, the loony bin, an insane asylum. And I'm sure with all those words, your perception of what it is based on TV and movies. Is that at least semi-accurate? Because mine sure was. My first time was when I was 12 years old, and it was the first time I've ever seen my dad cry, which freaked me out even more. I held it together until they took my belt and my shoelaces away from me. I spent the rest of the night alone, crying, with pictures of Jack Nicholson and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'll be honest, that's what I pictured. Freaked me out. The second time I was 26. I was just as freaked out, but being an adult I had that added, what is everyone gonna think? I had to be hospitalized for a mental health disorder. I'm crazy. The similarity was my dad still dropped me off. I had a really awesome support system. I was in there as an adult and as a kid. Here's what the movies tend to get wrong. Most of the people, if not all of the people in there, chose to be in there. They chose to get help. The doctors, counselors, nurses, and everyone in there genuinely wants you to get better. Not once was I locked in a padded room. Not once was I ever put in a straitjacket. I've never even seen a straitjacket, like a legitimate straitjacket. Not once was my brain zapped with electricity. And not once was I just walking down the hallway and a nurse stuck a needle in my throat and I was like, bleh. Never happened. What I do remember is waking up as a very, very scared 12-year-old. Without my shoelaces, without my belt, pants were barely staying up. I walk out of my room into this hallway. I walk down the hallway and I turn the corner and there is a line of people sitting at this big long table, smiling, laughing, like it's Thanksgiving, like you're there at Thanksgiving with your family. The nurses and doctors kind of are like, hey, it's good you're up, I'm happy to see you, we've got a spot here just for you. What would you like to eat for breakfast? And that was the first time reality didn't match my perception. It was nothing like the movies. And then I remember as 26, knowing that this wasn't the kid version of the Mental Health Institute. This was not the loony bin, the kid loony bin. This was the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest version. I walked up the stairs, down another tunnel. There's a lot of tunnels in these places, let me tell you. It's not really a tunnel, it's more like a hallway, but tunnel sounds. I get my binder and my lunch tickets. This binder. None of this stuff was on there yet, but it was this binder. We sat in a very big circle, everybody, doctors, nurses, patients, and we talked about what we were gonna do that day. And then people talked about what was on their mind, how their weekend was, how their day, how their night was. Now in the movies, they portray these places like a prison. They take away all your stuff, but it wasn't a prison at all. It felt more like a school. I mean, they gave me a binder for God's sakes. This is the first time I learned about meditation and mindfulness. It was also the first time I learned about cognitive behavioral therapy and thought records, emotional regulation, all sorts of stuff. As a kid, they taught us the same types of things, but things that kids need. Dealing with bullies, how to talk to adults who might not understand mental health, and how to educate them so they can help you. And each day, just like class, would either learn a new skill or practice the ones that we learned the previous few days. And that was one of those other times where reality didn't match my perception. Now, the movies didn't get it all wrong. Think of it as a kid, you connect with other kids through sports, extracurricular activities, schoolwork, things that bring you, that are the same. Things that, common interests, that's what I'm trying to say. I had those friends too. I had a lot of karate friends, but I didn't know anyone else with depression. I never felt like I could talk to anyone about it. And what I remember the most is that the patients and their problems were the same. And it built this, like, connection. The difference is they were able to communicate from a place of similar experience. From a place that only someone with a mental health disorder could come from. This disease makes you feel so alone. And the fastest way to correct that is to show that you're not alone. There's other people in the same boat working on the same problems. I have no idea if this helped. Mental Health Monday. If it did, let me know. If you didn't, pass it to someone who it might help, or tell me it sucks. I'm fine either way. With that said, life is meant to be experienced. Curiosity will get you there. See you tomorrow. There was one lady didn't say a word to me the whole time I was there. But after the first day, for the next 3 weeks, every day she used her lunch ticket to go buy me some cookies. So every day I would show up and this lady would just smile and hand me some cookies. But just because you have depression doesn't mean you feel like an asshole. I feel like an asshole when I have it. And that was one of those, like, I remember it so vividly because I was like, I bet she feels exactly like I do. But would an asshole really bring you cookies every single morning? I don't know, I think about that a lot.